Powered by Rocket Industries and hitting your screens every Thursday from 6 p.m. Central Time is Thursday Thunder, bringing you the newsmakers in Speedway from across the world. Thursday Thunder has everything you need to be in the know when it comes to Speedway racing. Hear from the guys and girls behind the wheel, amongst the dirt, in the thick of the action. It's all covered every Thursday from 6 at AustraliaLiveTV.com. Thursday Thunder, powered by Rocket Industries.
And just like that, the legend appears. Bill Wigzell, welcome to Rocket Thursday Thunder.
Thank you. Good to have you, Bill.
You're just checking he was for real then,
Oh,
weren't you?
absolutely. Checking the pulse.
How are you, Bill? It's been tremendous to have you on the program.
Thank you.
You've been a busy man?
Pretty busy.
What occupies your time these days?
Oh, working around the farm and a bit of maintenance and what have you.
So you've never really retired, have you?
Not really.
I don't think it would suit you, that kind of speed. What an amazing career you have. You must look back on it and just think, my goodness, does it seem like that long ago?
No, it doesn't really. No.
Highlights, obvious ones that spring to mind. Can you think of something that you think, geez, I'm proud I did that? I mean, there's so many glittering things that you've done, but is there something that sticks in your mind that you like to reminisce about?
Oh, beating the Yanks was good.
I was doing some footage during the week, Wade, of that unbelievable match race series that Kim Benathan put together with Gene Welsh in the Camaro.
Oh, yes.
That's probably one of the most famous speedway photographs in Australia. So I was checking out on the net during the week, and you actually used to start one on one straight and one on the other straight. So didn't know that, because you'd always whip his backside, and when you see that photo sitting there, you'd think you're running side by side all the time, but people probably wouldn't know you started half a lap behind.
No, he said to me afterwards, he said, I knew he was going to beat me, but did you have to beat me by that much? And I said, well, I'm sorry, I just wanted to prove that they're two different vehicles, and that's it. But
well, as you know, smoke and mirrors obviously are a big part of racing at times, and George Tatnell taught you a bit of a lesson with that, Bill, didn't he?
yeah, he sneaked up on me a couple of times, yeah.
And wasn't there a match race or something, and he said, let's make this a draw, Billy, we'll get the crowd really going, and then what did he do?
Flat as a tack from the word go.
It's funny you say that, Wade. I was talking to John Evans during the week, a good friend John from Oval Express.
Yeah, get well, John.
And he was saying that no one could ever trust George Tatnell. But they Kim Benathan used to set up these match races. Not all of them were set up, but now and again they'd set up a dramatic finale and all that sort of stuff. And he asked me to ask you, could you ever trust George for not just taking the win?
No, you could never trust him.
So thanks for that info, John.
Now, Bill, people outside of South Australia, perhaps in a more modern era, might not know that you started your career in solo racing, is that right?
Yes, I did, yeah. Rode in the road race first, and then went to solos at Kilburn Speedway and Road Speedway, yeah.
Wow, and then with the progression from solos to speed cars?
Yes. I was riding solo and working on Kim Benathan's race cars, and then he had the Jack Bradham twin built for him, and wasn't his cup of tea, and then he asked me to drive it, so I got off the bike and into the car.
Wow. And when you think about it, you've had some pretty, I won't say they're lucky because it's fate, but you've had some great transitions, haven't you, to, I mean, that's how you inevitably got, suddenly Zeke Agar's recommended you to have a drive.
Yeah, I drove for Alec Rowe, and Alec Rowe sold the car, and I was out of a drive while he was building a new one, and that's when Kevin Fisher asked me would I drive suddenly. And
how long did it take you to answer him?
I had to go and ask Alec, did he mind? Of course, with Alec Rowe, there's only one type of race car, and that was a speed car. And I went to Alec and I said, would you mind if I drove the super modified for Kevin Fisher for a while you finish the new speed car? And he said, oh no, I don't mind if you drive that truck.
Well, you
that were their big influences, weren't they? Like Alec Rowe, and he was a huge, with that supercharged midget he used to race as well. So
yeah, that was magic.
You stayed loyal to speed cars in that you drove suddenly a lot like a speed car, didn't you? You liked to back her in.
Yep, drove it like a big speed car, yeah.
What an amazing car to drive. I mean, it seemed like you guys were constantly, it was always at the leading edge, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a beautiful car to drive, handled well, and I loved the power of it. And like you say, I just drove it like a big speed car. And
I suppose without the big wing, it was probably like a speed car back then.
Yeah.
With a 427 cubic inch monster V8.
Yeah.
I mean, was it a car that handled well, Bill? Could you finesse it, or did you have to just monster it?
No, it used to handle quite well. If you knew how to throw it in, it used to handle well.
Well, some of my first memories of actual speedway racing at Rolly Park, Wade, growing up was seeing you and your late Kevin Fisher in the blue safari suits, type crew uniforms with the Scottish type checkered sort of hats, and that was the first thing I could actually ever remember when my father used to race cars, and you'd always remember that. And my last memory of the Suddenly was when you drove it at Warrnambool and the left front wheel fell off it.
Oh yeah, yeah. They restored it to have a vintage run up there, and the front stub axle broke, and yeah.
A lot of different tracks to when they used to be raced onto that sticky clay at Warrnambool.
And of course, Warrnambool was where the right rear tyre caught on fire, and
that's right. Yep.
Jeez,
caught on fire and burn out.
Golden era. You look back on that. Is Speedway? It's changed a lot, and it's unfair to compare the two eras, Bill. But you've seen it all.
Yeah.
Is Speedway as magic as it was back then?
No, not really, because back in those days, it was a different surface. And you used to be able to drive side by side with drivers for lap after lap, 3 wide. And you always started the fastest guys at the back, and people went to the Speedway to see passing. And if you started at position 20 in a 20-lap feature race, you knew you had to pass 20 cars in 20 laps to get it done. And people used to like that. They used to like seeing a lot of passing done.
Yeah. That used to be always the case at Parramatta too, Wade, when we were up there racing. You had to, if you were the higher point guy, and even back in the midgets when myself and Chaz used to race at Speedway City.
Hello to Chaz Calandra, who's sitting in the crowd tonight.
Didn't we, Chaz? We used to race, we had to start from 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 every week. But we used to have tracks back then that used to lend to 2, 3, 4 groove racing, and I can fully appreciate what Bill's saying.
Bill, are you involved? We've got emails coming through. Shane from Bateman's Bay is asking, are you involved in your grandson's racing these days?
No, only as a spectator. I love to see him race, but he does it. Him and his father do it all themselves. I'm just not involved with it, no.
And speaking of Terry, I was at Speedway Park many moons ago when he saved Dud Lambert's life, pulled him from a burning wreck. You Wigzells have had a remarkable life, haven't you?
Yeah, I guess we have, yeah.
But Terry also broke his spleen racing motocross at Clarendon, if I remember rightly. Back when I was racing the junior motocross, I always remember he actually had a really bad injury then on the motocross, but he also really damaged the spleen at Parramatta one night. And one of the few things that me and Bill got to relate together is driving for Reg Baker.
Yes.
Driving the Reg Baker 6, and used to drive the Reg Baker 4. And Terry was an awesome competitor to race against. He was a very, very quick competitor, and he just vanished from the scene. So what a disappointment that was for all of us.
Yeah, got married and had kids and didn't have the money to go on with
Mark
it.
Gilbert keeps me up to date with everything that was going on, that's for sure.
Fair enough.
Bill,
he was up home the other day riding with his kid up on the track at home the other day.
Okay. Would you like to have a crack, if you could keep your fitness, perhaps go back, say, 10 years, would you like to have a skid in a car like Trevor's sprint car these days, just to feel the difference between a car like Suddenly and the modern day sprint car?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't mind, yeah.
Still got that racer in you, haven't you?
Yeah.
I think it's all relevant, Wade. It doesn't matter what facet of time that is in the world. I think it's all relevant. I look back in just in absolute awe of what these guys used to do back then, and I think now it's all pretty much the same. A Maxim to a Jane.
Well, it's all manufactured, isn't it? Whereas Bill, you had to build it yourself.
Yeah, you used to make it. Every car was different. Every body was hand built. Everyone was different.
We had Marchie on last week, and that's an aspect that he really enjoys. He likes doing things outside the square, and he likes having the offset motor. He likes doing this. He likes doing that, and that's unfortunately that's what we don't get to enjoy anymore. So I can I just really love the aspect of what they used to do back then in that time.
Thanks to our friends at Hooligators and R&R Sprint Car Racing Collectibles, there is a magnificent speed car for you to take home and to keep. Don't give it to the grandson. Make sure that stays on your. I
certainly will.
Isn't it pretty?
That is fantastic. Thank you very much. That's beautiful.
You must be honoured, Bill, that this event honours you at Murray Bridge. You must think it's a great honour.
Yes, it is. Yes.
I'm just unfortunate when I'm not going to be able to go there this weekend because I'm not quite ready. Did you ever imagine when you first started racing that what you have done in the sport have influenced so many people's lives? Like from my grandfather to my father to myself, did you really realise that you were going to touch so many people's lives and influence so many people's lives in what you set out upon?
No, I didn't, Trevor. I just did it. Just did it because I liked it. The owners loved it. I did it for free. I never got any prize money. I just drove for the kicks. And the prize money went back into the cars because I liked it. And I got mixed up with a lot of nice people and I enjoyed it, and I just went ahead and done it. I didn't think of the future at all.
Unbelievable. We've got another email, Wade. Pete from Murray Bridge wanted to know what Trevor, what was it?
Would you want Trevor driving in your memorial race?
I couldn't even read it. I have copped it all week from that, Bill, and that was a complete slip of the tongue. I think it's a fantastic tribute. What Darren started, I think, at Murray Bridge Speedway, and Tim is carrying on. And one day it will be a memorial, and it's going to live longer than all of us, Wade. And what a fantastic tribute it is for you, Bill. Absolutely.
Thank you.
We thank you so much for coming in, Bill. I know that you've got your own commitments and things like that. Please stick around and enjoy the rest of the show. It's an honour to have you here, and we're thrilled that you could make it.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
Thanks
Mr. Bill Wigzell, everybody. We're not doing bad, Trev. We had Steve Kinser a few weeks ago. We had the great Ivan Major, and now we have Bill Wigzell. It just doesn't get any better than that. We're going to take a break here on Rocket Thursday Thunder. When we come back, we're going to talk to Sam Walsh about TI-22 componentry, and we're also going to speak to rising speedcar star from Western Australia, Dane Kingshot. We'll be back in just a moment.
Powered by Rocket Industries and hitting your screens every Thursday from 6 p.m. Central Time is Thursday Thunder, bringing you the newsmakers in Speedway from across the world. Thursday Thunder has everything you need to be in the know when it comes to Speedway racing. Hear from the guys and girls behind the wheel, amongst the dirt, in the thick of the action. It's all covered every Thursday from 6 at AustraliaLiveTV.com. Thursday Thunder, powered by Rocket Industries.